Hey Matt, how's it going?
Hello and welcome. I'm Hrish, co-founder and CEO of SuperWorld, a virtual world in augmented reality where creativity and entrepreneurship come together on one decentralized platform. From the Empire State Building to the Sydney Opera House to some of the more obscure places on Earth, in SuperWorld, our world is yours. Yours to buy, yours to sell,
I'm on
yours to create,
LinkedIn, but I don't
and
see
yours to
anything on the
explore.
SuperWorld LinkedIn.
SuperWorld is mapped on top of the
Page.
real world to create over 64 billion unique plots of land, with each plot measuring roughly
Okay.
100
A little
meters
bit
by
of a
100
delay, it looks
meters
like.
of real world space. To give you an idea, come together on one decentralized platform. From the Empire State Building
Okay,
to the Sydney Opera House.
I think we're live on all networks for our AMA with a little bit of technical difficulty, but I think we're good to go. Um, so let's we're on Discord, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, Instagram, and yeah, I think that's it. But we're on two LinkedIn's, or actually one LinkedIn and two YouTube channels. So we have a lot of reach. We're trying to expand our weekly AMAs across all social networks, so most people can plug in and be able to access what's going on and get involved in everything that we have going on at Superworld. So feel free to join us at any of those spots if you're already on here, but prefer somewhere else. We should be on pretty much anywhere you can catch Superworld, and you can ask questions in every one of these spots, and it should work. So we'll test that too. I usually like to start with talking about our vision at Superworld and sharing what we're building and kind of what's behind that. A little bit of background on myself, as well as kind of the origin story. Um, my background's been in tech and venture capital, and previously was an early team member at TopTal, which is a global talent marketplace to help build and grow that. I was the first biz dev there, and then previous to Superworld, co-founded Rogue Initiative Studios, which is a film, television, gaming, and immersive studio in Los Angeles. Learned a lot there, and basically the idea was that a Michael Bay movie like Transformers and Call of Duty the game is really the same thing, and you can build anything in a gaming engine. And my co-founder and I saw a game called Pokemon Go that came out about 10 years ago, and people were running around looking for Pokemon all over the place, digital characters that people were interacting with in real world locations. And we saw that and thought, why does it have to be about Pokemon? Why can't it be about your business? Why can't it be about your favorite sports team? Why can't that be about your travel, places you love to go? Why can't it be about a not for profit you support? And so that was the vision of Superworld, is how can we enable anyone to personalize the world around them and to be able to create content in real world locations. And then we also divided Earth into 64 billion blocks, zero point zero 0.01, zero point zero 0.01 longitude, latitude, covering Earth. So you can buy any real world location and be able to own that location. Every location on Earth, unpurchased, is around zero point zero 0.01 ETH on base. So we're on base by Coinbase. And it's around $20 to buy a plot anywhere in the world. And if you buy a block, you benefit at that location across advertising, e-commerce, digital commerce, data, gaming, analytics, anything that monetizes at that location. And we're building ways to, that anyone can monetize. We've recently launched a creator marketplace on Superworld, so creators can sell experiences, either digital or physical, in real world locations, and more ways to come. So, that's the vision of what we're doing. The grand vision is, how can we enable people to leverage technologies like immersive tech, Web3, and AI to enhance their real life, their physical life. I think we're all getting pulled more digitally, and it might be counterintuitive, but Superworld is really focused on the physical world and the real world, your real life. And so that's one big differentiation in what we're doing. These are real locations, and this is your real life, real places you're going to, and things that you're doing, and things that are happening in the real world. And the second part of that is, what if we could all of us together, build and own a decentralized virtual world that can positively impact Earth and humanity? So that's the big vision. We've come a long way. We have lots to do. It's a very long-term vision. We're building a world, after all. So it's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of really cool things that are happening, I think, in the world that are really aiding this. We go across immersive tech, Web3, and AI, and all three of those categories have seen dramatic changes in the last 5 years, the last 10 years. We've been around for about 9 years, but definitely in the last 3 months, right? So it gets faster and faster. We opened up Superworld to OpenClaw. Internally, we're integrated very closely with a number of AI tools. We're built on Llama, so you can ask Superworld questions about places to go around the world, and you'll get answers right on the map. And more to come, more features to come, and more interesting things that are coming out. We just launched our token about a month ago, and so we're focused on integrating the token into the platform with more news on that. We have a white paper, which is at whitepaper.superworldapp.com, where you can learn more about what we're building. But the token's called SPWR, Superpower. And we want to enable Superpower to really, give you superpowers in Superworld. And it's connected to the real world. So hopefully give you superpowers in the real world. That's the goal. With that being said, we kind of run this as an AMA. So we'll go into our community now and go to kind of the AMA part of what we're doing, and see if there's questions. And we have people across a number of channels, so we'll see what we can do here.
Hrish, may I jump in?
Yes. Go ahead.
Oh, was somebody beating me with Immortal? Were you there, or somebody else, or Ether?
No, you go ahead, Matt. How are you doing?
Doing well. Just wanted to pass on one piece of good news for you to help grow Superworld's exposure to people who were basically given a Superworld account. A quick recap. I'm doing some work on the Web3, NFT, and blockchain links for SEO, but I have a third-party service. It's like Fiverr, except it's a platform called Legit, Legit, 2 I's and a T. And so it's a very SEO, search engine AI ranking focused marketplace like Fiverr, except more specialized. Probably the easiest way to describe it. And so I've done work for about 35 to 40 different companies. Some were like SEO agency and they gave me multiple clients. Across the board, almost all of them, if they had some sort of physical address, I had to deliver something like 10 different links or links from 10 different platforms. And SuperWorld was one of them. But I don't know what they're doing with it yet. I finally heard from the main founder of the marketplace, legit, and he gave me the go ahead. So I'm trying to secure one client that's willing to be a public case study. Thanks. And then I'm going to be a case study. And then I believe I've got that secured. And then hopefully next week I'll send them a video, make sure it's right. So I'm going to educate them without upselling or hard selling anything else. But it's to the tune of, hey, you got this one link from me out of all the things that I sent you. There's this thing called SuperWorld. Here's a case study using client XYZ that has given permission to be revealed publicly. And here's some things that you can do within SuperWorld that you may not know beyond the search engine benefits you got, which would be experiences, AI, leaving comments, creating their own worlds, uploading the augmented reality elements to it, the Pokemon Go aspect. So hopefully I'll be able to send that and get them not just to do it for themselves, but get more engagement across the board. But also if they decide to do it, they'll do more of their own work on SuperWorld as well. And I could also be able to use it for the client that's willing to do it. They're going to have agent clients as well. It's a brand management company. So they're going to potentially have others, and they may do the same thing as well to get SuperWorld in as part of their standard operating procedure. I can't promise that part yet, but hopefully by the end of next week, I'll send out a video to the people who already do have a SuperWorld account and start to get the day-to-day user engagement metrics higher and higher, and then potentially have them spread the word elsewhere. So more to come. I just want to pass on some good news here. I just got the go-ahead and permission to do that 2 days ago.
Amazing. Okay. Wow. That sounds awesome. I'm very excited about that. I know, Matt, you've been really looking at a lot of the benefits around agencies using SuperWorld as a way of improving SEO for their clients. And that's what you're focused on as well.
Yep.
So just
and then also what else they could do to cross-link. And then I think the experiences, the bigger one is going to be from affiliate marketers. So I think I post something in the main chat, but quick overview for those listening, because I'm open to any suggestions to make this better. But experiences went live in the last 3 to 4 weeks. Is that about accurate?
Yeah, that's right. Probably in the last maybe couple of weeks, we've kind of built out some more features on that. Still working out some of the specifics on different use cases, but yeah, we're very new with the experiences feature. Hey, by the way, Matt, I don't know if you're able, but I since we're doing this across every social network and you're joining us on Discord,
Right.
I dropped a link. Do you want to click on that and see? Maybe you can just join by audio or video, and people can hear you better. I just want to test how it works because we're kind of testing doing this across every network.
Let me find that link and I'll jump in on the audio portion that way.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say one more. I just got a good suggestion from a mentor, posted in there, but I want to refine it. When we post an experience, if we post it to our world, we're not limited to places only for where we've actually purchased the land plot, right? We can post an experience anywhere in the world, even if somebody else owns. Okay.
Yeah.
What opens up then is, let's just say, because it's, even though, most people who are affiliate marketers, they want to sell, they have to drive all this traffic to their landing pages and sell and paint the picture. But let's just say, for example, you were doing a digital course for some reason, you're selling this on, how to become a Hollywood actor, right? And that was your digital product that you were selling. And so you'd go through the paywall of the experience, purchase, and then get access to the course materials, or the link then to the course material to then get whatever was promised. But here's the interesting thing, is that you can pin that at the Hollywood sign in California or at Universal Studios or one of the big TV production things. So by the very nature of where the content is placed, you already pre-framed it emotionally for the person to want to do that, because that's where they want to end up. They want to walk on the lot at Universal Studios. They want to be associated with Hollywood or whatever it is that they're into. So there's that emotional connection to the land, a specific location, to evoke the emotion, hopefully increase the buyer thing. But also, you've just reduced all their needs to get a website and hosting and not be subject to all, say, the Facebook or the whatever terms of service, where you can't necessarily do that, or Instagram. So by doing it that way, and then being able to share that link, and anyone without even a SuperWorld account could just click and then potentially purchase without having to even log in. I think that's a huge opportunity there from the affiliate marketing standpoint, as well as for people selling products or doing the giveaway for free if they're physically at the location, as you said, to get them into the real world. So either way you want to go, you've got some great stuff there. I think the experiences might be a huge revenue driver to get brand new people into SuperWorld as well, because you've just reduced their hard costs and you've given them that ability to have that emotional hook tied to whatever they're selling.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I was talking to a AI strategist earlier this week, and the way that he kind of described what we're doing, which I liked, was, there's a lot of potential liquidity in the creator market that's untapped. So, if you think of a creator on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok, usually it's someone that has a large following. And there's a lot of creators that are, maybe just people that are local that you trust, that maybe they're your friends. They don't even think of themselves as creators. And with Superworld, they can recommend businesses or recommend restaurants, because you're not reaching out to your favorite creator to ask them what's your favorite place to go in the neighborhood, and so all of us are becoming creators. And I think what we're focused on in this feature is, how can we enable anyone to kind of be able to recommend places, but also create content at those places, experiences, sell digital experiences, and maybe even connect it to a business. Um, and so, from that conversation I had earlier this week, the idea was, the thought that he had was that there's this liquidity that's untapped in the creator market. And also the fact that when we think of digital content, we don't usually think of a location. We usually, you watch a YouTube video and you don't really think about the location of the YouTube video. You're just watching a YouTube video about, from your favorite streamer or your favorite, personal trainer or whatever it is that you're into, right? But you don't think of a location to it. And I think that's what we're doing, is we're kind of adding that location, and then really bringing that into the overall framework that we've created at Superworld, which is, you now can become a stakeholder on the map, and you can actually even own a location and benefit from the activity that happens on your map or in those locations. So yeah, it really brings everything together. That's the idea.
Thank you. I just want to make sure I was up to speed on that, so that we had the ability for me to take what you just said, apply it from the SEO affiliate marketing perspective, get the exposure out that way. But like I said, if you can tap into where the emotion is and reduce their hard costs simultaneously, you have two things that are very, very difficult to replicate in AI or anything else from a content creation or a creator influencer standpoint. So they have their influencing on their primary social media, and then cross-link them back over, to their landing page. But their landing page, whether it be direct or from Linktree or whatever, it's the Superworld URL. Those two things could get a lot more people in it to reduce their hard costs just on that alone. Plus the ability to keep pinning those experiences. If the high emotions would be on anything, but they have multiple locations, they can populate their worlds with the same force, just with different experiences along the way. You've just given them something that they can't really get anywhere else easily, and within an hour they have a business running, theoretically, other than the content itself that they're selling. So I think you've got some great stuff there. And, just from that point, we'll talk later on potentially about how do you get SPWR to stake it, or is it an XWX thing from there to like co-share it? I have a couple ideas I'll send to you, but I think you're on the right track here, and you may have just built something you didn't even realize is really that good. I mean, better than you thought. Excuse me. That's a better way to describe it. So just from feedback from mentors of mine that I ran it by, and they go, "Wow, you could actually do this and cut our hard costs." I go, "Yep."
Wow.
I love it.
Amazing. No, that's cool. I'm glad. I'm glad they see interest and potential in it. So looking forward to creating that case study for them and helping you scale that with other SEO clients.
I'm walking through one other thing I was going to ask you, so I'll come back in a minute with another question. But thank you for
Yeah.
letting me talk. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Matt. And by the way, when you join back in, you can click on that link. And I don't know if I have a hard time understanding whether people can hear the audio because I'm on the Discord. You're calling in from Discord. And I think it works well. Everyone can hear you, but hopefully people could hear what you're saying. But yeah, I put a link, by the way, in Discord for everyone. So if you want to just join the live stream and you can ask your question and be across, and we can test it that way too. So if any of the others here want to jump in, let me know. All right, so I got a question here on YouTube. Which feature am I personally most excited about right now? I think that we have a couple of features that we have just launched that I'm very excited about. So one is the creator experience platform that was just mentioned. So creators can create and sell digital or physical experiences on the map. So if you're a creator, if you're a digital creator, you could be creating a book, or you could have a course, or you could do a live stream, any type of, you could do a tour, a walking tour, a physical kind of experience. You could do a physical kind of online training, or real in-person training. You could do an event. So any kind of event, digitally or physically, on the map. And so if you are one of those people, come over to SuperWorld and start creating your experiences on the map. You could be a photographer, you could be a chef. So all types of opportunities for digital and physical experiences. We're scaling that now. We're growing that. I'm very excited about that. The other thing is we launched our token, SPWR, Superpower, which is a utility token. That's something that is integrating into the whole platform. So very excited about what's coming with our token, but that's live already. And then we have this other feature, which I talked about a bit last week, which really enables anyone, particularly developers, but everyone's becoming a developer now with AI tools like Claude Code and Replit and other things. That's a new feature that allows anyone to build on the map. So if you're a developer, you can build a whole experience on the map. And we're going to be launching our first experience, SuperWorld experience, which is called SuperWorld News, coming soon, and it's going to be really, really interesting because I'm a fan of the news. There's a lot of stuff going on around the world, and so SuperWorld's going to be a place where you can learn about what's happening around the world. You can tap into X and news reports, and you can even ask SuperWorld about what's going to happen. And so there's some predictive elements there that are built into the platform. And so very excited about this new experience, but it's really the first experience of many, which enable anyone, developers, anyone really, to build on top of the map. And that's not just like a Google map, but literally change the whole experience to whatever you want. And it uses the foundational elements of Superworld, our token, our sign in, other aspects of Superworld. So very excited about that. So hopefully that answered your question. So thanks for that question. Yeah, anyone else have a question?
Hey, Rich, it's Matt again. I'm on. Can you hear me on Restream?
Yeah,
Okay.
here you go. I think you're on
I got out of Discord on the
Restream.
voice chat, so
You're in audio. Yeah,
awesome.
I think everyone can hear you now.
Thank you. I'm just going through a couple things also to attract other people who own other virtual real estate and other platforms to bring them in
Mhm.
because it looks like augmented reality is the one differentiator that the others don't. I'm just thinking about bringing more people into the platform to get more engagement. So if you happen to be on Earth 2 or Over the Reality or Smart Places or any of the others, how do you get them to come over here, right, and start doing things that they couldn't do in the other platforms? Experiences, worlds, augmented reality, 3 or 4 others. So I don't know, how you would attract them that way, other than to talk about, because all they want to do is, a lot of them, when they're complaining in the Discord channels or wherever, they're like, "Well, we built all this stuff, we spent all this money on our NFTs, and now they're worthless. We can't flip them. No one's going to buy them." So I'm trying to figure out ways to as a training tool or training mechanism to encourage people who have, one or more other platforms where they may have the same property purchased, to come over and do the same thing in Superworld, except this time there really is real utility. So I'll send that over to you as well, but that might be a great way to grow platform user base. And then, to whatever degree, some of those people were used to purchasing the publicly traded crypto in those platforms, and then SPWR would be a natural extension because they already have their wallets, they're already crypto friendly, things of that nature. So I'll send that to you. The only thing I was going to ask you is the use case going forward for SWX. What do you see? Anything for those of us who've accrued a bunch of it, just to make sure that we're using it intelligently? I know we can't stake it to potentially, like SPWR, to have a premium land plot, but for the SWX, if we have 50,000 or more of that accrued, what do you think?
Mhm. Yeah, keep doing all the actions on the platform. SWX is our in-game currency, and now that we launched Superpower SPWR, which is our utility token, they're going to have two distinct use cases. So again, we'll announce kind of what the use cases of SWX is, but I mean, the best way to think about it is SWX is an in-game currency, so we will have use cases that are more within Superworld. So, if I were just going to kind of brainstorm with you something that could be possible, I don't know, again, if we'll do these particular ones I'm naming. It could be like you want to, basically turn your world into a premium world. And you have SWX, so you can just use that to turn your world into a premium world. And again, a premium world could be you have access to specific other features that other users might have to use fiat or SPWR to activate, as an example. And so, really, the use cases of SWX are going to be related more to the Superworld platform and specific things that you can activate with it. While SPWR is going to be more of a rewards utility token, and staking and governance and other things related to things that potentially could relate to outside types of interactions, like interacting with a creator or interacting with a business or staking to a business, or something related to virtual real estate. So that's the best way to think about it. We haven't announced yet the SWX use case, as I mentioned previously. As you know, we were using it for virtual real estate.
Right.
But once we moved to base, we stopped that specific use case. I think we had a pretty good run there of using it for that from the very beginning. Um, and I think a lot of our community benefited from that. And we're kind of diversifying that out from that specific use case. First, I think a lot of good reasons because we want people to do now other things with SWX. So yeah, more news to come on that. But I think I gave you kind of the framework of how we think about it.
Thanks. That'll help. And
Yeah.
then the last one was I'm working on some other stuff as well, and I'll send it to MK and later on, you and Swapnil, potential ways. Again, if we upload augmented reality to our land plots, say, or we're representing, say, for a client, for a business, whichever way we go. But then how do you get that ported over into the other the Gaussian split or geospatial AR directories so that the people who have the wearables, like the glasses or their phones are enabled for AR and they happen to become traveling, they're in your area. So I'm looking at that, but also how to get people, if we do pin content on there. And it's just the example I was got from some of my AI stuff is, let's say people know that there's a restaurant where you are, and you are the restaurant, or you represent the restaurant, and it's within walking distance from a stadium, soccer, football, baseball, whatever, here in the US or wherever around the world. So they know that they would have to walk, say, that half mile or that half kilometer between the stadium and the restaurant. So if you own the land plots in between, you could have an augmented reality, they call it a tunnel, where everything along the way hypes, gives up cool information, everything, but it's all brought to you by the end destination, which is the restaurant. And you would dominate that tunnel, that corridor. But it's how would they get notified other than in the real world with like NFC, what do they call it? The near field communication stickers and things like that. So I'm working on that, but how we could get our content that's augmented reality uploads to get extra syndication that's either automatically placed into the directories that then pull for the various brands of AR glasses, all the way to people in the real world as they're just walking by with their phones in their hands or their glasses. How do they get auto notified ahead of time, just while they're walking, that there's this digital layer content right where they are? And so I'm working on that, but I'm having some trouble. So if you have any of that in the game plan, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll send MK and Swapnil the information I found, because I think that would also raise the value of, and it could be something like, I'm just premium. If you premium stake your land, you get this extra feature or whatever it is. It could be something like that to incentivize SPWR utility token purchase and usage, but I don't know. So I'll send it to you what I think about. I'm just ironing out my thoughts, but it looks like that would be a great way in the real world to really get the AR content with lots of people engaging with it for very high emotion things. They're leaving the stadium, their team won, they're walking to the parking lot, but they find, or somewhere else, but they see that there's this digital layer. And hey, by the way, instead of going home, let's go to this nearby restaurant instead, because the restaurant met them in the AR, in the digital layer of the real world while they're really there. So I'll send it to you later. But if you have anything like that in the pipeline, please let me know. Because that's some fascinating use case capability that I think we get a lot of engagement, or whatever it is. I'm just using sports as an example, but the travel from point A to point B and then putting the AR content along that corridor is kind of the big picture takeaway.
Yeah, I think and to be clear, as you could just create it on your world, or you could own the virtual real estate as well to benefit from that corridor or that path or whatever, the street that you're talking about. You can also become a stakeholder by owning those locations. But yeah, I think it's a really cool use case, especially as more kind of AI goggles or AI glasses come out. And again, the way we're thinking about that is we're integrated with AI. We're integrated with Llama, which is Meta's product, and Meta is probably going to be the front runner with their AI glasses. So yeah, we anticipate that the AR component of that, which is what you're talking about, will also come as the tech, or whether you're using your phone and pulling up info from your AI glasses and then pulling up your phone to look at the AR. Those are definitely good use cases.
I was thinking about the notification, because obviously in the real world it might be, unless you actually own that real land plot as well, like you actually have physical title in the real world, you could put your QR codes or your NFC stickers or whatever would be there to incentivize people. But I was just thinking if there's a way, because we're remote, I'm doing something, I'm in Texas, but I'm doing something for someone in California or wherever, that person walking from point A to point B in California would get notified because I did something specific in SuperWorld. I'm getting close on that the coding might be there, but I'm not a developer like any. So I want to make sure that I would send it but I think that ability to auto notify would also get brand new people into this thing called SuperWorld that they never heard of before because they found such cool content along the way.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. I think the notifications are definitely something that we have that, I mean, in terms of on our roadmap. And we'll have some features coming out soon, which will also kind of give you auto kind of notifications regarding like places you've been, places that you're around, um, things like that, kind of like where you've explored and things like that. So those are some cool features that you guys will see pretty soon in the mobile app.
Thank you. That was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Matt. And by the way, guys, I put a link in the Discord. So if anyone wants to join the stream across all of our channels, because I know we have a lot of people in Discord who might want to do that, feel free to click on that link and you can get on like Matt did across our channels, or you can talk on Discord. The only thing is if you talk on Discord, the audio might not be as good and other people might not hear you. So, but I'll repeat your questions if you stay in Discord. You find it? You have a question, Arafi?
Yeah, I mean, it's a side question aside from all this. Is this in regards to, I guess, really the land plot thing? And I had followed up with Swapnil about that. It was just a Riri, and I hadn't heard back from him really quite some time. It was really more of a matter of under the old system, and I don't know whether or not this has changed. I have plots from 2021 which have not shown up under my profile, and that was one of the questions in the email. I was just wondering, can SuperWorld, is it attached to multiple wallets? Because I felt like if it did, then the plots from 2021 would connect the profile, but for whatever reason, it hasn't.
Yeah, the wallet is where your plots are. And so when you connect your wallet to SuperWorld, SuperWorld will read your wallet, and those plots that are shown in SuperWorld are just reading the wallet. That is probably the answer, but I'll ping Swapnil just to get back to you if he hasn't responded on email. I saw your email, by the way. So I was just waiting for him to respond on it, but that's the answer. But it might be that, if you're seeing plots that don't exist in your wallet, it could be you just might need to refresh or something like that. It might be just pulling up what was on a previously connected wallet, and it just needs to maybe you just need to unplug and replug in the wallet potentially, and then it'll refresh what you're seeing. But yeah, if you have plots on two different wallets, then you need to, either consolidate them into one if you want to see everything at one time. Otherwise, you'll, have to plug in one and then plug in the other to see everything that you own.
Okay, because that was what you just gave me was just really the answer, because
yeah. That's the answer. But I'll let Swapnil also kind of tell you that same answer, but that's the answer. It reads your wallet. But I want to make sure Swapnil gets back to you.
No, it's just two different wallets,
That's right.
or maybe even like it's three different wallets, where the wallets I've been using most recently in recent years, it reads that it attaches it to the profile, it's totally fine. It's just a totally different wallet where I was kind of wondering whether or not I would have had to like reattach it to the wallet, or if it just like it will remember that it's on this different wallet, and as a result, it'll attach it to it.
Yeah, it only
If
reads.
that makes
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm trying to grasp exactly what you're trying to say, but I think the just the clear way of saying that, and let me know if this doesn't make sense, but it only reads what is in the wallet that's connected. So just connect the right wallet.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
Yeah.
that makes total sense. And
Yeah.
then for those old plots, there are plots on the map of, let's say, from 2021, where there isn't a user's name attached to it.
Mm.
Is that because it's before the time of when the profiles were attached to it and they haven't reattached their wallet? Because a lot of the newer wallets from, I'd say, 2024, 25, 26, you'll see a username attached to the plot, but those ones in certain parts of the map don't have anyone attached to it.
Yeah. So this is a good question. That might need an update. So if you haven't asked Swapnil about that, make sure we will touch on that with you, because I want to make sure that, because obviously you have a user ID, and I want to make sure that that's showing up on every plot that you own. But you're right. If there's someone who bought before we had user IDs, there was a time when you didn't need a user ID, you just needed a wallet address. And at that point in time, there was no user ID on the plot. And so there's some plots where the buyer only had a wallet address, never had a user ID. And so those would not have user IDs on the plots showing. But in your case, you have a user ID, assumably, and you
Yes.
have plots, and you're stating that some of your plots actually don't have your user ID showing on the plot. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. So yeah, that's something that we should resolve. And yeah, I don't see. I think it's probably something that just needs a refresh, or just a fix, a easy fix there. Just show that you are basically that wallet that you own is just kind of connected to this user ID. I think that's I think what's missing potentially in the database.
My mind was the same.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Please finish, Hrish.
No, that's it. That's what I was going to say.
Because even to reach out to certain users that have, let's say, like a certain plot, but I suspect a good chunk of these people are from 2021, that before the user ID was implemented, like I couldn't reach out to them saying, well, would you be willing to maybe sell your plot? Or what could we do this, because there's no listed ID on them.
Okay. Yeah, I wonder if you can make a bid on those. I mean, you can make an offer. Are you saying that the user ID is required to make an offer? I have to look at that.
I hadn't looked to that extent, but
Okay.
I said, like, even reaching out to this person seemed like a problem, just because I went to the plot and there wasn't an ID.
Yeah, that's true. You can't reach out to someone who only has a wallet address. So yeah, that I will have to see if there's any way around that. But that's the reason we added user IDs and all this stuff too. Is like we want to make it more social, and I think that part of it is just giving people the opportunity to have a place where they can have a way to message each other, and you can have a personality and an avatar and other things. So that's where that change was an important one back in like 2022, I think.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, great question. And I'll ping Swapnil. I'm going to talk to him in a little bit. Anyone else have any questions, and feel free to join the restream by clicking on the link if you'd like.
Rich, one other thing for training for
Yeah.
the business profile portion, you know, you have everyone has a user profile. If there's a business attached, they can create and edit their business profile. Those are getting indexed by Google straight up as they are. But the actual pinning of the content, you know, because each asset is different, has a different URL string and everything, some difficulty in getting those indexed directly. But there's a workaround for anyone who's like an SEO agency or they run their own website and they're using SuperWorld to promote that on the actual website, especially if there's a local emphasis. So if you're a plumber in New York City or whatever it is, how you would leverage the those content pieces of content. And I found some stuff with the schema code. It's some advanced schema code that would be the JSON language that would go behind the scenes and how it would tie back to your Google Maps and how you cross-link it. I'm testing it with one of the other virtual land plots first, but SuperWorld's coming up on Monday or Tuesday. I'm going to let you know the results. But if I do it right, it's a three-pronged approach. Or four: optimize the business profile and then the pins on SuperWorld. Number two is put the schema code, some advanced stuff on the website. Number three is optimize the Google business listing with the link back to the specific SuperWorld link. I'm not sure if it's the land plot link or the actual asset upload link on it. And there's a fourth step in there. But if it does, that might all of a sudden help people skyrocket from nowhere to getting into Google like AI overviews and later on ChatGPT and Perplexity for things, because it's stuff that the AI tools, OpenClaw and Claude, can't spoof. They can't pin augmented reality content in SuperWorld at an actual location that matches what the business says it is on Google Maps. It also matches the address it says in the business profile and elsewhere. But if it's done right, I'm starting to see some favorable results with these virtual real estate things, even if it's a portfolio of virtual real estate of different platforms all saying the same thing. I'm at 123 Main Street, New York City, or whatever. But I just want to let you know, I'm trying to lump you into that as well, because that also, because it looks like the schema code, especially for augmented reality with a digital twin aspect of it, whatever a digital twin is quantified as, whether it be a 3D GLB object or a digital twin, like the way you consider them, it might be enough right now to help us blow past a lot of what the search engines and the AI tools are having trouble discerning if a business is real or if it's being spoofed by AI or components are. And it might be something really strong that way. So if you have to buy the land plot to really strengthen the argument, and it's at whatever price it is right now, you said 0.0 or 0.1 ETH or 0.01 ETH, whatever the price is, I call it $25 today, plus or minus. We very well might actually have a great opportunity there as well. But I'll walk you through that and let me know what, from your testing and case studies. But if so, we may have also opened up something else that helps on the SEO side of things. They just have to do more of it, but SuperWorld would be the driver of that. And then they would just do their normal syndication and some coding behind the scene on a specific page. But I think you may also have found something on top of it you didn't realize yet, because I can't spoof that.
Yeah. I mean, no, it's really exciting. I mean, in terms of, producing a case study for anyone who's looking at improving their marketing with AI and AI search. So, yeah, I think that's pretty awesome.
The takeaway is that doing something with SuperWorld and everything else lining up with it adds a level of trust and what they call entity association, but also just authority building in those ecosystems. I just don't yet know if it's only good for a local business, or would it be good for a big brand, or would it be good for someone who just did something and they just placed an experience because they want to sell the how to become an actor in Hollywood, and they pinned it at the Hollywood location. I'm not sure yet on those components of it from the business perspective, but to give people business reasons to jump in and use SuperWorld as part of their basic month one standard operating procedures for marketing, I think that they have, you've got some great opportunities here. It's subject to further testing, but if I get it, I'll send it your way.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. Excited to hear what you find out. And then once you find that out, we'll market that across our channels and maybe create a blog article about it.
Awesome.
We did that once together, didn't we? We did a blog article.
I think so a while back. I was so much more to refine since then. If I were to go back and
Okay.
find it, I'd probably be embarrassed at how menial it is compared to what it should have been. So I'll upgrade the content and make sure it's powerful enough to justify doing what you said.
Yeah, let's do it again. That would be cool,
Thanks.
especially with all the new developments and new features and new ways to promote. So yeah, that's awesome.
As a kind of
Yeah, go ahead.
Irish,
Hey, go ahead.
as a general note to Matt, like a lot of what you described, you're going a mile a minute. But it's stuff that strikes me as very important to a lot of general business owners. It'd be great if you did like a really in-depth or like a chronicled blog post or multiple blog posts of talking about what you described at a really basic level, so people can kind of wrap their heads around.
Sure. Good idea.
Even when you consider the staking of a business, a lot of probably business owners will be like, "What? What are you talking about staking?" Like it seems very far fetched, right? Even though it's very much the future. So something like an in-depth blog where you're chronicling more of this would be really helpful, because I would personally love to read it, Matt.
Thank you. And the big takeaway from the audio portion is that every time you walk or drive down the street, you see physical businesses and offices and apartment complexes and whatever else. And the big premise is right now, almost every one of those, especially a business, needs to have some sort of presence on something like Google or Yelp or whatever in the country is trusted as a local map with business information. Here are hours of operation. We're located here. Here's our logo or our storefront, et cetera, et cetera. So they all know to some degree that they need that now. But that's as far, and then they all know that they kind of need something on social media. It could be Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, or a combination thereof. But they don't yet realize that they also need something like a SuperWorld, because they're so physical with their buildings. They don't realize that there's a digital layer to their own buildings. Every physical thing they've ever seen, there's the ability to add digital content over, on top of, around, or representing on a map thereof. And they don't think that way. So they need to understand that they have to expand their thinking beyond just Google Maps and some social media. They also need a platform that something like SuperWorld provides. And so the question is, how then can I incentivize them to come on in and join and do certain things in SuperWorld that they can't do anywhere else, but it benefits them, whatever the benefit is. More marketing. If they're trying to sell their, let's say they have raw land and it's a real estate agent or real estate broker, how they can actually put digital content on their land and make their land more valuable, right? To sell. They're just trying to sell land, but how do you make that land more valuable? And if they have 100 of those things that they're selling because they're a raw land real estate brokerage, how then do they enhance foot traffic or value across all their property? I mean, that's a very big picture, but that's the thought process. So therefore, they're in their worlds, they understand the benefit. It saves them money, saves them time, increases their profits, makes themselves more dynamic and interesting. Whatever it is, there's something that speaks to the way they think. And I'm trying to position SuperWorld around that way. And I'm just getting lost in some of the details, but I'll get there. And thank you for reminding me to get back to basics. Appreciate it.
Yeah, but what you just said, like you just described sort of like this buildup, where like if that was chronicled into like chapters, it sort of gets people's mind around to the point of where you're talking about the search engine optimization and using that for your land plot, right? So it's not like jumping into the deep end and talking about search engine optimization and your land plot, but like you're bringing them along through these multiple chapters. And then it gets into this where it's like, okay, well, now we're thinking about search engine optimization with your land plot, and here's how you can think about it in the different levels.
Thanks.
I don't know if you're trying to build your own personal brand, but like that would kind of even drive more, or you could do it cool with SuperWorld, right? Where it's this multiple chapter thing where walk people through how to kind of get their mind to the place of understanding the search engine optimization and their plot, and then what they can do next about it.
Thank you. That's an awesome idea, because I was going so far into the nuances. So
drawn out that people won't understand.
And I very well may go out on location and like literally say, here's a building. This is a financial services building. You physically see it. You can physically touch it. What does this have to do with the digital world? And then take them from there. Or I might just do it like these screen recordings. And as you said, very sequential chapters, but take them from the basics all the way to, to the thing. Thank you. That actually adds some thoughts of something else I'm working on. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, man. Thank you.
Yeah, great stuff. Yeah, excited about that, and we'll put this into a blog article when you're ready, Matt. When you get all the data there, because I think a lot of people, as Energy said, would benefit from kind of understanding the ins and outs of everything you're talking about. So I think that'll be like good and probably get you business too as a agency for it.
Thanks. It's just there's so much that you're sitting on here. Like I said, augmented reality, the world map. We also, I know you talk periodically about DePIN, the DePIN decentralized physical infrastructure network, and I'm looking at ways to have graphical representations of that data, even if you don't own those land plots or those DePIN devices, and what could be done with it. So and then either whether it be in the current platform incarnation or something like one of the forks, like you said, SuperWorld News. Could the DePIN data about weather be, let's say you're doing the weather nodes or whatever, the GeoNet or whatever it is that collects the weather data, temperature, humidity, wind at hyper localized locations, do a graphical representation inside our world in SuperWorld News, and then ask AI questions around it. And you could start to have really hyper focused information that you could make buying and selling and business decisions around, or open up research opportunities or whatever else is there. So I'm just, because the DePIN people don't even know that you exist as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think RWA, DePIN, there's a number of different avenues here as it relates to a map. So yeah, there's I think huge opportunities for both, and we have relationships on both of those niches, but nothing that we've per se integrated yet. You guys know Magma is a close partner. They're doing things on the RWA side. TokenVest is a partner. But again, some of those things are still waiting on that tech on in both of those companies and some of the development to really get ready. So, but on our side, it's a map, so it's pretty easy for anyone to build. It's just a matter of making it make sense for whatever stage they are in terms of their readiness to go forward. So yeah, I think when you get some more of that info, that would be pretty awesome, and we can add that into the case study as well.
Thank you.
Hey guys, so I think we're about the time. I have a hard stop in about a minute, but this was a great conversation. Now, I'm happy we were able to do this across all the different social networks here. So it's given us a lot more reach. We've had a lot more viewers, which is great. So I'm very excited about continuing that. I can do it on Discord as well as everywhere else all at the same time. So no, thanks so much for joining us. Hopefully I didn't miss any questions from anyone else. We just have to jump. So if you have questions between now and next week, definitely join our Discord, join our Telegram. We're very accessible across socials. And we'll be doing, besides this AMA, I want to start doing more lives, basically walking the community through the platform. How do you buy virtual real estate? Showing people how do you create a world, showing people how to create experiences. So I think Energy talks a lot about education and SuperWorld School. So that's another component I think we'll start doing as well. I'd like to start kind of doing more live. So now that we got this setup working, I could just jump on and start talking about SuperWorld at any time and get a lot of reach. So excited about that. Again, I want to thank everyone for their support. you guys really, we all build together. We're all building SuperWorld together, our community, our virtual real estate owners, our world creators. So if you're listening to this and you're curious about SuperWorld, come over, create a world. It's like a map. You can personalize the map. You can add, places you want to go, places that you love. You can add your favorite restaurants, hotels, coffee shops. Just go into search and just add them on your map. And when people ask you what to do or where to go, one simple use case is you can just, share your world, share your map, and people can interact on your map digitally or physically, and you benefit from that. So if you haven't done that, create a map. If you're a creator, digital creator or physical creator, create an experience. So I'd love to have you do that. So if you're selling something already on Stan Store or School or you name it, if you're selling content anywhere else, Patreon, whatever, come over and create an experience on SuperWorld. But with that said, thank you again, and we'll see you next week.